Imagine waking up one day and realizing you're not like everyone else. You have a special gift, a unique purpose, or an extraordinary ability that sets you apart from the crowd. Sounds amazing, right? Well, what if I told you that this isn't just the stuff of movies and books, but something that might be happening in real life? That's right, we're talking about chosen ones, people who seem to have been picked for something special. But here's the big question. Is being a chosen one really as awesome as it sounds, or is it more of a burden than a blessing? Think about it for a moment. In stories, chosen ones are often these incredible heroes who save the world and get all the glory. But what if being chosen isn't all it's cracked up to be? What if it comes with challenges that most people can't even imagine? That's what we're going to explore today. We're going to dig deep into the world of chosen ones and try to figure out if they're really lucky or if they're dealing with more than we realize. Now, you might be wondering why this even matters. After all, if you're not a chosen one, why should you care? Well, here's the thing. Understanding what it means to be chosen can actually teach us a lot about ourselves and the world around us. It's not just about special powers or big destinies. It's about understanding our own unique gifts and challenges and how we fit into the bigger picture of life. Let's face it, we all want to feel special in some way. We all have moments where we dream of being the hero, of having some amazing talent that makes us stand out. And that's exactly what being a chosen one is all about. It's about being different, but not just in any old way. It's about being different in a way that matters, in a way that can change things. But here's where it gets tricky. Being different isn't always easy. In fact, it can be really hard sometimes. Imagine having a gift that nobody else understands, or feeling like you have this huge responsibility on your shoulders that you never asked for. That's often what it's like for chosen ones. They're caught between feeling special and feeling totally alone. So why does this matter to you? Well, even if you don't think you're a chosen one, chances are you felt different at some point in your life. Maybe you have a talent that sets you apart, or maybe you've faced challenges that other people don't seem to get. Understanding what chosen ones go through can help us all appreciate our own unique qualities and the qualities of others around us. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter. Is being a chosen one a good thing or a bad thing? The truth is, it's not a simple yes or no answer. Being chosen can be both a blessing and a curse, often at the same time. It's like having a superpower that you can't always control, or knowing something important that nobody else believes. On the good side, being chosen often means having abilities or insights that can really help people. Imagine being able to see solutions to problems that nobody else can see, or having the strength to stand up for what's right when everyone else is afraid. That's the kind of thing chosen ones might experience. It can make them feel incredibly special and give their life a deep sense of purpose. But then there's the flip side. With great power, as they say, comes great responsibility. And that responsibility can be really heavy. Chosen ones might feel pressure to always do the right thing, to use their gifts perfectly all the time. They might feel like they can't make mistakes or be normal because so much is riding on them. That kind of pressure can be really hard to deal with. And let's not forget about the loneliness. Being different, even in a good way, can make it hard to fit in. Chosen ones might find it difficult to connect with other people who don't understand what they're going through. They might feel like they have to hide parts of themselves to be accepted, or like they're always on the outside looking in. So, are chosen ones blessed or cursed? The answer is a bit of both. It's like having a tool that's incredibly powerful, but also really difficult to use. It can do amazing things, but it takes a lot of work and sometimes causes problems of its own. Now that we've talked about whether being chosen is good or bad, let's dig into what it actually means to be chosen in the first place. When we say someone is a chosen one, what are we really talking about? At its core, being chosen means having a special purpose or gift that sets you apart from others. It's like the universe or some higher power has picked you out for something important. But here's the key. It's not always about having magical powers or saving the world. Sometimes, being chosen is much more subtle than that. For example, a chosen one might have an incredible ability to understand and help others. They might be able to see things from different perspectives in a way that most people can't. Or maybe they have a talent for creating something beautiful that touches people's hearts. The point is, being chosen isn't always flashy or obvious. Sometimes it's quiet and personal, but still incredibly powerful. But here's where it gets interesting. Being chosen isn't just about having a gift. It's also about having a responsibility. Chosen ones often feel like they're meant to use their special abilities or insights to make a difference in the world. It's not enough to just have the gift. They feel called to do something with it. This sense of purpose can be really inspiring. Imagine feeling like you have a clear mission in life, like you know exactly what you're meant to do. That's often how chosen ones feel. But it can also be scary and overwhelming. What if you're not sure how to use your gift? What if you're afraid of messing up or letting people down? And here's another important point. Being chosen doesn't mean being perfect. Chosen ones are still human, with all the flaws and struggles that come with that. They make mistakes, they have doubts, they get scared or confused. Sometimes they might even wish they weren't chosen at all. It's not an easy path, but it can be an incredibly meaningful one. So, when we talk about chosen ones, we're really talking about people who have been given something special, but also something challenging. They have a gift, but they also have a burden. They have a purpose, but they also have doubts. It's a complex experience that goes way beyond just having cool powers or being the hero of the story. One of the most interesting things about being a chosen one is that it's often a journey of discovery. Many chosen ones don't start out knowing they're special. Instead, they gradually realize that they're different, that they have abilities or insights that others don't seem to have. This process of discovery can be really exciting. Imagine slowly realizing that you can do things that other people can't, or that you understand things in a way that seems unique. It can be like unlocking a secret part of yourself, like finding out you have a superpower you never knew about. But it can also be confusing and even scary. When you start to realize you're different, it can make you feel isolated or unsure of yourself. You might wonder if something's wrong with you, or if you're just imagining things. This is especially true if your gifts are more subtle or hard to explain. For many chosen ones, there's a moment of realization, a time when they finally understand that they are meant for something special. This might come through a big event, like saving someone's life or having a vision of the future. Or it might be something smaller, like suddenly understanding a deep truth about the world or feeling a strong connection to something greater than themselves. This moment of realization can be both thrilling and terrifying. On one hand, it can give a sense of purpose and direction. On the other hand, it can feel like a huge weight has been placed on your shoulders. Suddenly, you're not just living for yourself anymore. You're living for something bigger. And here's the thing. This journey of discovery doesn't end with that moment of realization. Being a chosen one often means constantly learning about your gifts, constantly figuring out how to use them and what they mean. It's a lifelong process of growth and understanding. This journey can be really challenging. Chosen ones often have to learn to control their gifts, to understand the limits and the possibilities of what they can do. They might have to face fears or overcome doubts. They might have to learn to balance their special purpose with the everyday parts of life, like having friends or holding down a job. But the journey can also be incredibly rewarding. As chosen ones learn to understand and use their gifts, they often find a deep sense of fulfillment. They might experience moments of incredible joy or connection. They might see the positive impact they can have on the world around them. So when we talk about chosen ones, we're not just talking about people with special abilities. We're talking about people on a unique and powerful journey, a journey of self-discovery, growth, and purpose. It's a journey that can be hard, but also incredibly meaningful. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest challenges that chosen ones face: the weight of responsibility. When you're chosen for something special, it often comes with a sense that you're supposed to do something important with your gift. And that can be a really heavy burden to carry. Imagine feeling like the fate of the world, or even just the fate of one person, rests on your shoulders. That's often what chosen ones experience. They might feel like they have to always be ready to help, always be prepared to use their gifts when they're needed. It's like being on call 24/7, but for something much bigger than a regular job. This responsibility can show up in all sorts of ways. For some chosen ones, it might mean feeling like they have to save people from danger. For others, it might mean feeling like they need to share important knowledge or wisdom. Some might feel responsible for creating something beautiful or meaningful that will touch people's lives. And here's the tricky part. This sense of responsibility doesn't come with an instruction manual. Chosen ones often have to figure out on their own how to use their gifts, when to use them, and what they're really meant for. It's not like someone hands them a guidebook that says, "Here's what you're supposed to do with your special abilities." This can lead to a lot of stress and anxiety. Chosen ones might worry constantly about whether they're doing the right thing, whether they're using their gifts in the best way possible. They might feel guilty if they take time for themselves, or if they're not constantly working towards their special purpose. There's also the fear of failure. When you feel like you've been chosen for something important, the idea of messing up can be terrifying. Chosen ones might worry that if they make a mistake, they'll let down not just themselves, but everyone who's counting on them. This fear can sometimes be paralyzing, making it hard for chosen ones to act even when they know they should. But it's not all negative. The sense of responsibility can also be a powerful motivator. It can give chosen ones a deep sense of purpose and drive. When they see the positive impact they can have, it can be incredibly rewarding. The weight of responsibility might be heavy, but it can also make life feel rich and meaningful in a way that nothing else can. So when we think about chosen ones, we need to remember this balance. Yes, they might have amazing gifts or abilities, but they also carry a weight that most of us can't fully understand. It's a mix of privilege and pressure, of power and responsibility that shapes every part of their lives. One of the hardest parts of being a chosen one is often the loneliness that comes with being different. When you have abilities or insights that others don't share, it can create a gap between you and the people around you. And that gap can sometimes feel impossible to bridge. Think about it. If you could see things that nobody else could see, or do things that nobody else could do, how would you explain that to other people? How would you connect with them over everyday things when your life is so different from theirs? This is the challenge that many chosen ones face every day. Sometimes, the loneliness comes from having to keep secrets. Chosen ones might feel like they can't share their true selves with others, either because they're afraid of how people will react or because they're trying to protect their loved ones. Imagine having this huge, important part of your life that you can never talk about. It can make you feel like you're always wearing a mask, always holding back a part of who you really are. Even when chosen ones do try to open up, they might find that people don't understand or believe them. Their experiences might be so different from what most people go through that others just can't relate. This can lead to feelings of frustration and isolation, like speaking a language that nobody else knows. The loneliness can also come from the pressure of being special. When you're seen as different or gifted, people might put you on a pedestal. They might expect you to always be strong, always have the answers, always be perfect. This can make it hard to form real, honest relationships. Chosen ones might feel like they can't show weakness or vulnerability, like they always have to be on. And let's not forget the simple fact of standing out. In a world that often values fitting in, being visibly different can be really hard. Chosen ones might face misunderstanding, fear, or even bullying because of their differences. They might long for the simplicity of just being normal, even as they know they have an important purpose to fulfill. But it's not all doom and gloom. While being a chosen one can be lonely, it can also lead to deep and meaningful connections. When chosen ones do find people who understand them, whether other chosen ones or simply open-minded friends, those relationships can be incredibly powerful. There's a special bond that forms when someone sees and accepts you for who you really are, special abilities and all. Moreover, the unique perspective that comes with being a chosen one can lead to a deep empathy for others who feel different or isolated. Many chosen ones become champions for the underdog, using their own experiences of loneliness to connect with and help others who feel left out. So when we talk about the loneliness of being a chosen one, we're really talking about a complex emotional landscape. It's a mix of isolation and deep connection, of standing apart and finding your tribe. It's another example of the dual nature of being chosen, the challenges and the rewards that come hand in hand. Certainly, I'll continue with the next 3 sections of the outline, maintaining the same style and depth. Here's the continuation of the script. Now that we've talked about some of the challenges chosen ones face, let's shift gears and look at the positive side. Because make no mistake, being chosen can come with some pretty amazing perks. It's not all struggle and loneliness. There's a lot of good stuff too. First and foremost, being a chosen one often means having special abilities or insights that can really make a difference in the world. Imagine being able to heal people with a touch, or to see the future and prevent disasters before they happen. Or maybe it's something more subtle, like having an incredible ability to understand and help people who are struggling. Whatever the gift, chosen ones have the potential to do some truly amazing things. This ability to help others can be incredibly rewarding. There's nothing quite like the feeling of knowing you've made a real, positive difference in someone's life. For many chosen ones, this is what makes all the challenges worth it. They might face loneliness or pressure, but the joy of using their gifts to help others can outweigh all of that. Another blessing of being chosen is the sense of purpose it brings. Many people go through life feeling lost or unsure of what they're meant to do. But chosen ones often have a clear sense of their purpose, a feeling that they're here for a reason. This can be incredibly comforting and motivating. Even when things get tough, chosen ones can hold on to the knowledge that they're part of something bigger than themselves. Being chosen can also lead to some pretty incredible experiences. Chosen ones might get to see or do things that most people never will. They might travel to amazing places, meet fascinating people, or witness events that change the course of history. Their lives are often filled with adventure and wonder, even if that adventure sometimes comes with danger or difficulty. There's also the personal growth that comes with being chosen. Dealing with special abilities and big responsibilities can push chosen ones to become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. They often develop deep insights into themselves and the world around them. This growth can be challenging, but it can also be incredibly rewarding. And let's not forget the sense of connection that can come with being chosen. While it can be lonely to be different, it can also lead to deep and meaningful relationships. When chosen ones do find people who understand and accept them, those bonds tend to be incredibly strong. There's a special kind of closeness that comes from sharing extraordinary experiences with others. Some chosen ones also find a deep spiritual or cosmic connection through their experiences. They might feel linked to something greater than themselves, whether that's nature, the universe, or some kind of higher power. This can bring a sense of peace and belonging that's truly special. Lastly, being chosen often comes with a unique perspective on life. Chosen ones tend to see the world differently, noticing things that others miss and understanding connections that others don't see. This can lead to incredible creativity and innovation. Many chosen ones become artists, inventors, or leaders who change the world with their unique vision. So while being chosen definitely comes with its challenges, it's important to remember that it also comes with some pretty amazing blessings. The ability to help others, the sense of purpose, the incredible experiences, the personal growth, the deep connections, and the unique perspective. All of these are powerful positives that can make being a chosen one a truly extraordinary experience. Now, as wonderful as the blessings of being chosen can be, we can't ignore the fact that it also comes with some serious challenges. Being a chosen one isn't all superpowers and saving the day. It can also be really tough sometimes. One of the biggest challenges is the pressure. When you're chosen for something special, there's often a lot of expectation that comes with it. You might feel like you always have to be perfect, always have to make the right choice, always have to be ready to save the day. That's a lot for anyone to handle, and it can lead to a lot of stress and anxiety. Imagine feeling like the fate of the world, or even just one person, depends on you making the right choice. That's the kind of pressure many chosen ones deal with every day. It can be exhausting, and it can make it hard to relax or enjoy normal life. Another big challenge is the fear of failure. When you have special abilities or an important purpose, the idea of messing up can be terrifying. Chosen ones might worry constantly about what would happen if they made a mistake or couldn't live up to their potential. This fear can sometimes be paralyzing, making it hard for chosen ones to act even when they know they should. There's also the challenge of balancing their special purpose with everyday life. Chosen ones still have to deal with normal stuff like school, work, or family responsibilities. But how do you focus on homework when you're worried about saving the world? How do you explain to your boss that you're late for work because you were off fighting evil or having a vision of the future? It's not easy to juggle a special destiny with the mundane parts of life. Many chosen ones also struggle with feeling different or isolated. When you have experiences that most people can't understand, it can be hard to connect with others. You might feel like you can't really be yourself around most people, or like there's always a part of you that you have to keep hidden. This can lead to loneliness and a sense of not belonging. Sometimes, being chosen can also mean facing danger or making big sacrifices. Chosen ones might have to put themselves in harm's way to help others, or give up things that are important to them for the greater good. This can be really hard, especially when the people around them don't understand why they're doing it. There's also the challenge of learning to control and understand their gifts. Special abilities don't usually come with an instruction manual. Chosen ones often have to figure out how to use their powers through trial and error, which can be frustrating and sometimes even dangerous. Another difficult aspect can be dealing with people's reactions to their abilities. Some people might be afraid of chosen ones, or treat them differently because of their gifts. Others might try to use them for their own purposes. Learning to navigate these reactions and protect themselves can be really challenging. Lastly, there's the weight of knowledge that often comes with being chosen. Chosen ones might know about dangers or problems that other people are unaware of. Carrying this knowledge, especially if they can't always act on it, can be a heavy burden. So while being a chosen one definitely has its upsides, it's important to recognize that it also comes with some serious challenges. The pressure, the fear of failure, the balancing act, the isolation, the sacrifices, the learning curve, the reactions of others, and the weight of knowledge. All of these can make being chosen a really difficult experience sometimes. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds interesting, but are there really chosen ones in real life? Isn't this just something from movies and books? Well, while we might not have people shooting laser beams from their eyes or flying around in capes, there are plenty of real-life examples of people who seem to fit the chosen one description in their own ways. Let's start with some historical figures. Take Joan of Arc, for example. Here was a teenage girl in the 1400s who believed she had been chosen by God to lead France to victory in its long war with England. She had visions, she inspired people, and she actually led armies into battle. Whether you believe in her divine calling or not, Joan definitely fits the pattern of someone who felt chosen for a special purpose and faced both the blessings and challenges that came with it. Or think about someone like Martin Luther King Jr. While he didn't claim to have supernatural powers, King definitely felt called to a higher purpose. He had a vision of a better world and felt compelled to work towards it, even in the face of great danger and opposition. His ability to inspire people and drive change could be seen as a kind of special gift. In the world of science, we could look at someone like Albert Einstein. His unique way of thinking about the universe led to discoveries that changed our understanding of reality itself. Many people who knew Einstein described him as seeing the world in a fundamentally different way from others. Isn't that a lot like having a special insight or ability? But chosen ones don't have to be famous historical figures. There are plenty of examples of everyday people who seem to have been chosen for something special. Think about those stories you hear of ordinary people doing extraordinary things in a crisis, like somehow finding the strength to lift a car off a trapped person, or instinctively knowing exactly what to do to save someone's life. In those moments, those people might feel like they've been chosen to be in the right place at the right time to make a difference. Or consider people with rare abilities or conditions that give them unique perspectives or capabilities. There are people with synesthesia, for example, who experience the world in ways most of us can't imagine, seeing colors when they hear music or tasting flavors when they read words. Isn't that a bit like having a special ability that sets you apart from others? There are also countless stories of people who have overcome incredible odds or survived seemingly impossible situations. Many of these people come out of their experiences feeling like they were spared for a reason, chosen to do something important with their second chance at life. In the world of art and creativity, We often hear about people who feel driven by an inner vision or compelled to create in ways they can't fully explain. Many great artists, musicians, and writers describe feeling like vessels for something greater than themselves, chosen to bring certain ideas or creations into the world. Even in everyday life, we can see examples of people who seem to have special gifts for understanding or helping others. Think about that friend who always knows exactly what to say to make you feel better, or that teacher who has an incredible ability to inspire their students. These people might not think of themselves as chosen, but in a way, aren't they using special abilities to make the world a little bit better? Of course, it's important to remember that being chosen doesn't always mean having an easy or perfect life. Many of the people we might think of as real-life chosen ones have faced incredible challenges, doubts, and struggles. They've had to grapple with the weight of their perceived purpose and the difficulties that come with being different. But that's exactly the point. Being a chosen one, whether in stories or in real life, isn't about being perfect or having an easy path. It's about having a unique gift or purpose and choosing to use that gift even when it's difficult. It's about facing challenges and making a difference in whatever way you can. So while we might not have superheroes flying around, the world is full of people who, in their own ways, fit the description of chosen ones. They're the ones who see things differently, who feel called to make a change, who have unique abilities or insights that they use to help others. And in the end, maybe that's more inspiring than any fictional hero could be. Certainly. I'll continue with the remaining sections of the outline and add a conclusion, maintaining the same style and depth. Here's the final part of the script. Now, after all this talk about chosen ones, you might be wondering, how do I know if I'm chosen? Maybe you've felt different your whole life, or maybe you've had experiences that you can't quite explain. So let's talk about some signs that might suggest you're on a chosen path. First off, let's be clear. Being chosen doesn't always mean having dramatic supernatural powers. It's often much more subtle than that. One common sign is having a strong sense of purpose or feeling called to do something specific with your life. If you've always felt like you're meant for something important, even if you're not sure what it is yet, that could be a sign. Another indicator might be having unusual abilities or ways of perceiving the world. Maybe you're incredibly intuitive, always seeming to know things before they happen. Or perhaps you have a special talent that comes to you naturally, something that others find difficult but feels easy to you. These could be signs of being chosen for a particular purpose. Many chosen ones report feeling different from a young age. They might have always felt like they didn't quite fit in, or like they saw the world differently from those around them. If this sounds familiar, it could be a sign that you're meant for something unique. Sometimes, being chosen comes with a sense of connection to something greater than yourself. You might feel deeply connected to nature, or have a strong sense of spirituality. Some chosen ones describe feeling like they're receiving guidance from a higher power or from the universe itself. Another common experience for chosen ones is having vivid dreams or visions. These might be about future events, or they might be symbolic messages that you feel compelled to understand. If you often have dreams that feel significant, or that stick with you long after you wake up, this could be a sign. Some chosen ones report experiencing synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that seem too perfect to be random. If you often find yourself in the right place at the right time, or if you frequently encounter exactly the person or information you need, this might be a sign that you're on a chosen path. Another indicator could be feeling drawn to help others in a specific way. Maybe you have a strong urge to heal people, or to fight for justice, or to create art that touches people's hearts. If you feel a deep calling to make a difference in a particular area, this could be a sign of being chosen for that purpose. Some chosen ones describe having gone through a significant life event or crisis that changed them profoundly. This might be a near-death experience, a serious illness, or a life-changing encounter. Often, these experiences leave the person feeling like they've been given a second chance or a new purpose in life. It's also worth noting that many chosen ones struggle with the weight of their gifts or purpose. If you often feel overwhelmed by your sensitivity to the world, or if you struggle with feeling responsible for fixing big problems, these could actually be signs that you're on a chosen path. Now, here's a really important point. Even if you don't have any of these experiences, that doesn't mean you're not special or important. Every single person has unique gifts and the potential to make a difference in the world. Being chosen isn't about being better than others. It's just a different kind of path, with its own challenges and rewards. Remember, being chosen isn't always easy. It often comes with difficulties and responsibilities. So if you do feel like you might be on a chosen path, be gentle with yourself. It's okay to take time to understand your gifts and figure out how to use them. So, what if you've realized that you might be on a chosen path? How do you deal with that? Well, it's not always easy, but there are definitely ways to navigate the challenges and make the most of your unique gifts. First and foremost, it's important to accept yourself. If you've been feeling different or struggling with unusual experiences, recognizing that you might be chosen can actually be a relief. It can help explain why you've always felt a bit out of step with the world around you. Embrace your uniqueness. It's not a flaw, it's a strength. At the same time, don't let being chosen go to your head. Remember, everyone has their own special gifts and purpose. Being chosen doesn't make you better than anyone else. It just means you have a specific role to play. Stay humble and keep your focus on how you can use your gifts to help others. It's also crucial to take care of yourself. Being chosen often comes with a lot of pressure and responsibility. Make sure you're taking time to rest, to do things you enjoy, and to connect with people who support you. You can't fulfill your purpose if you're burned out or overwhelmed. Learning to control and understand your gifts is another important step. This might mean practicing meditation to enhance your intuition, studying to deepen your knowledge in your area of calling, or working with a mentor who can guide you. Be patient with yourself. Mastering special abilities often takes time and practice. Don't be afraid to seek help when you need it. This might mean talking to a therapist about the pressures you're feeling, joining a support group for people with similar experiences, or confiding in trusted friends. You don't have to carry the weight of being chosen all by yourself. It's also important to stay grounded in the real world. Yes, you might have a special purpose, but you still need to take care of everyday responsibilities. Find ways to balance your higher calling with the practical aspects of life. This balance can actually help you stay centered and focused. Remember that it's okay to have doubts and struggles. Even the greatest heroes and stories have moments of weakness or uncertainty. Don't beat yourself up if you're not always sure about your path, or if you make mistakes. It's all part of the journey. Try to stay open to guidance and learning. Being chosen doesn't mean you automatically have all the answers. Stay curious, be willing to learn from others, and remain open to new experiences and insights. Your path might unfold in ways you don't expect. Finally, focus on taking action in whatever way you can. You don't have to save the whole world all at once. Look for small ways to use your gifts and make a positive difference each day. Over time, these small actions can add up to something truly significant. Now that we've explored what it means to be chosen, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. How do chosen ones fit into the world as a whole? What role do they play in the grand scheme of things? One way to think about it is that chosen ones are like catalysts for change. They often have the ability to see things differently, to imagine new possibilities, and to inspire others to action. In this way, they can be the spark that starts big movements or shifts in society. Think about some of the major changes in history, civil rights movements, scientific revolutions, spiritual awakenings. Often, these were started or led by people who seemed to have a special calling or ability. These chosen ones didn't change the world all by themselves, but they were able to set things in motion and inspire others to join in. Another important role that chosen ones often play is that of a bridge. Because they often see things from a unique perspective, they can sometimes connect ideas or people that might otherwise remain separate. They might bridge the gap between science and spirituality, or between different cultures or ways of thinking. Chosen ones can also serve as teachers or guides. Their unique insights or abilities often put them in a position to help others understand themselves or the world better. This doesn't always mean being a formal teacher. Sometimes it's as simple as leading by example or sharing wisdom through art or everyday interactions. In many traditions, chosen ones are seen as having a special connection to the divine or to the deeper truths of the universe. They might be viewed as messengers or channels for higher wisdom. Whether or not you believe in this spiritual aspect, it's clear that many chosen ones do seem to have access to insights or understanding that can benefit others. It's also worth noting that chosen ones often play a role in pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Whether it's in science, art, spirituality, or social change, chosen ones are often the ones who dare to think beyond the current limits and imagine new possibilities. They challenge us to grow and evolve as individuals and as a society. But here's a really important point. Chosen ones aren't separate from the rest of humanity. They're part of the intricate web of human experience and interaction. Their gifts only have meaning and power when they're used in connection with others. A chosen one who tries to go it alone or who sets themselves above others is missing the point of their calling. In fact, you could argue that the real power of chosen ones lies in their ability to awaken the potential in others. By living their purpose and using their gifts, they often inspire those around them to discover and use their own unique abilities. In this way, being chosen isn't about being special or superior. It's about helping to create a world where everyone recognizes and lives up to their own potential. It's also important to remember that being chosen comes with responsibility. Chosen ones often find themselves in positions where their actions can have big impacts, for better or for worse. This is why so many stories about chosen ones focus on the importance of using power wisely and for the greater good. Ultimately, chosen ones remind us that each of us has the potential to make a unique and valuable contribution to the world. While some might have more dramatic gifts or callings, every person has something special to offer. The example of chosen ones challenges all of us to discover our own gifts and to use them in service of something greater than ourselves. As we come to the end of our exploration, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned about chosen ones. We've seen that being chosen can be both a blessing and a challenge. It can bring incredible gifts and opportunities, but also heavy responsibilities and difficult struggles. We've looked at real-life examples of people who seem to fit the chosen one description, from historical figures to everyday heroes. We've discussed signs that might indicate someone is on a chosen path, and we've talked about ways to deal with the challenges of being chosen. But perhaps the most important thing we've discovered is this. Being chosen isn't about being better than others or having an easy path to greatness. It's about having a unique role to play in the world and the responsibility to fulfill that role as best you can. In many ways, the idea of chosen ones reflects something deep and true about the human experience. We all have unique gifts, we all face challenges, and we all have the potential to make a difference in the world. The stories of chosen ones remind us of this potential and challenge us to live up to it. So, are chosen ones really blessings or dams? The answer, as we've seen, is that they're a bit of both. Being chosen comes with incredible opportunities to grow, to help others, and to be part of something bigger than yourself. But it also comes with pressures, responsibilities, and challenges that can be really difficult to navigate. In the end, though, maybe the real question isn't whether being chosen is good or bad. Maybe the real question is, how will we respond to the call? Whether we feel chosen for something big or we're simply trying to make the most of our own unique gifts, we all face this question. Will we embrace our potential, even when it's scary or difficult? Will we use our gifts to help others and make the world a little bit better? Will we have the courage to be different, to stand up for what we believe in, to push the boundaries of what's possible? These are the questions that chosen ones in stories often wrestle with. But they're also questions that each of us face in our own lives. In that way, maybe we're all chosen to be exactly who we are, with all our unique strengths and struggles, and chosen to decide how we'll use that uniqueness in the world. So whether you feel like a chosen one or not, remember this. You have gifts that are uniquely yours. You have the potential to make a difference in ways that only you can. And you have the power to choose how you'll use that potential. In the end, that's what being chosen is really about. It's not about having special powers or a grand destiny. It's about recognizing the unique role you can play in the world and choosing, every day, to live up to that potential. It's about using your gifts, facing your challenges, and doing your best to make a positive difference in whatever way you can. So, are you ready to answer the call? Are you ready to embrace your own unique path, whatever that might be. The choice, as always, is yours. And that choice, the power to decide how you'll use your gifts and live your life, might just be the greatest power of all.